Let's talk accents. I mean, was this a tough one to kind of arrive at? Where you're generally good. You've done a lot of different kind of dialects early in your career. Was this an easy one to come to?
Um, I mean, I've never really sort of tried to do an accent in anything as such. It's sort of, it's like whatever just sort of sounds nice. And it just said he was from the South at the beginning,
right?
And Scoot hadn't started, so I kind of had free reign over the accent. But there was kind of interesting little rhythms in the way David wrote it, and it was kind of, I guess, quite a sort of natural sort of thing. And there's one tape, this guy from Florida, which I was listening to quite a lot. Just this guy he's just a normal guy I work with this dialect coach, and but he just sends a bunch of tapes just to kind of get ideas from.
Right.
But yeah, it kind of, I think so. I guess it's a sort of Florida accent.
Okay.
But it's it's in the future, so it doesn't count.
Right. So basically, you can do anything. Do you prefer now? I assume you've probably picked up some good Australian profanities too. Do you prefer your profanities in the Australian jargon, American jargon, English?
I actually didn't. The only phrase I kept noticing in Australia, they always say nutting it out for figuring something out.
Oh, that sounds wrong though.
I know, I kept just using that and be like, yeah, I've just been nutting all over it.
Amazing.
I'm just nutting on myself.
Nutted everywhere. We're kind of the two most juvenile people in the world, so for the next 20 minutes we're just going to make nutting jokes.
Every interview I did in Australia, it's like, yeah man, I've just been figuring out how to nut on guys.
Let's talk about the most important scene in the film. Carrie Hilson.
Yeah.
Was that in the script, that particular song?
No, it was the Pussycat Dolls originally, which I thought was like pretty funny as well. But when I'd never actually heard that song before.
Okay.
And he sent it to me, and then I thought it was a new song, and I was like, wow, how did you find this? This is like perfect for it. And realized it's got like 500 million hits on YouTube. Like,
it's last of the party.
And but yeah, I thought it was kind of great. Yeah, and it's such a kind of special moment. It shows how brave David is. And also, I love how it cuts into the movie because it's just so loud.
Yeah.
Like, my stupid little running after guy, it becomes this, like, kind of children's movie for a second.
So there was no other big ones under consideration. Had you prepared to sing the Pussycat Dolls song? Were you?
No, I think it was before they started shooting that he got that. But I knew all, like, because David was saying originally, he's like, I really want you to like really go for it. So he's like singing it hard in the car. I'm like, I really don't know how to do that. That's crazy.
Do you sing in the car in your real life? Like, do you sing when nobody's looking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to anything and everything, or is it a specific kind of song that inspires?
Well, I almost exclusively listen to hip hop, so sing along to a lot of Tiger.
Interesting.
Like I'm obsessed with Tiger.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a man of many talents, but I think none greater than your karaoke skills. We know that you like to karaoke. This is a documented fact.
I haven't done it for years.
Is that true?
I get extremely competitive, and I'm like one of those annoying people who say, "I want to sing well. I'm not singing it as a joke."
Well, we're willing to anoint you as the king of karaoke if you're willing to accept that honor. Because I mean, I know I've talked to Hugh Jackman. He's karaoke'd with you.
Yeah.
We know that you've karaoke'd with your friend Katy Perry. I've never karaoke'd.
Ever?
Literally never karaoke'd. Do you have any tips for the aspiring karaokeer?
God, I don't know. Like, generally, just go. I have no idea. Go for something outside of your wheelhouse. Or my brain just like
slowing down. Do you generally like to do duets, or do you like to do solos?
I think I've only ever done karaoke like 3 times. I remember doing Bump and Grind years ago with a friend of mine, and to about three people. One of my favorite karaoke experiences where I wasn't actually singing, but my friend, we were in this bar in Lubbock in Texas, 2 kind of jocks in the front row, and my friend was singing I Believe I Can Fly, and these 2 guys are just going like, the entire time in the front row.
Fans.
It's absolutely amazing. The entire song, and my friend's getting so into it.
Is generally a drink or 2 a good idea when you're karaokeing, or should you be stone cold sober, you think?
It depends on, it's probably better for, well, yeah, I guess it's probably about drinking. I love Hugh Jackman's thing. Did Hugh Jackman ever tell you the context of
I don't know if I feel like there were wigs involved.
Yeah, him and Baz Luhrmann dressed up as Japanese schoolgirls. That was pretty amazing. In way too small outfits, like singing ABBA. It's absolutely astonishing.
You were like, what drug am I on? Because I can't be witnessing this.
I have a video of it somewhere as well, and I can't find the video. It drives me crazy.
My God, that would explode the internet. I mean, were you pissed off? Because didn't like the Katie video that leaked at some point? Someone had that video and
like 6 years later.
Later, right?
Yeah, just really crazy.
Bizarre.
Because I've been to that place again. Like a bunch of times. I didn't even realize they film it.
Now you have to watch yourself. Do you have any perspective? Do you pay attention much at all to, since Twilight, there have been these much different kind of franchises, but obviously Hunger Games and Divergent's now huge. Do you feel like you have a unique perspective on seeing people like Jennifer and Shailene kind of navigate that thing? Like, do you see that and say, oh, I remember what that was. I can imagine what they're going through right now.
I don't know. I mean, so I guess they all seem quite different, like how people react to it and how and also what the expectations of the actors are. I think it's different from Twilight. I mean, I literally had no expectations whatsoever.
Right. And these now, everybody goes in thinking it's going to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, or and people, I feel there's a lot more pressure on people now. I mean, like, for the first year after the first Twilight, I just messed around. I mean, the first press tour, I was just trying to amuse myself.
Oh, we remember. Yeah.
I didn't even realize anyone was watching the interviews.
No, we've got the tapes. That's the video.
It's like, so I guess it is kind of different. You have to have a different level of professionalism.
Do you feel like you've matured?
Sort of. A little bit, I think.
I mean, do you approach press differently? Approach conversations and knowing what to expose and what not to expose? And because you're still pretty open in this conversation, you're still shooting from the hip,
I mean, I think I've always had a quite a good ability to kind of self-censor myself. So it's sort of to self-censor. So I kind of, I had sort of instinctively about that when I first started. But I think, I don't know. I'm trying to be less self-depreciating because you spend 7 years being self-depreciating, and everyone's like, that guy doesn't even think he's worth shit.
So why should I? Is it? Yeah, so you need to start saying, you know what, I'm pretty awesome. And then we're all gonna.
And people get away with that. It's so crazy. It just blows my mind every single time. I'm just like, yeah. I've got to start referring to myself in third person.
Right. Rob thinks you're great. I want to talk to you generally also about some career stuff, because in the time since we've spoken, the good news is I think we're going to talk a lot more because you've been working a lot. You've done, I think, 4 or 5 projects in the last year and a half, I think.
I keep forgetting about stuff.
Well, you did obviously Map to the Stars. You've also gotten a chance to work with Werner Herzog, which I know was a big deal to you. What was that experience like working? You were in Morocco, right? Or were you?
Yeah, kind of a similar environment to the Rover.
Really?
Weirdly,
extreme kind of.
But it was great. Like, Nicole Kidman's really fun, and going around wearing what do they call it, a keffiyeh all the time, literally my robes, being
Amazing.
Lawrence of Arabia. That's absolutely crazy. Riding a camel.
How was that? How are you on a camel?
It's kind of amazing. Do you know camels eat their own I was literally looking the guy in the mouth, going like, "What's wrong with his mouth?" It looks like he's got a bunch of shit. And it's like, yeah, he does.
Your respect for that camel went way down, or up, perhaps. Who knows?
He also had a whistling, like my one had a whistling tooth.
Okay.
So, like a lisp. So every line I had is like in between every line.
Amazing. Did you get to do stuff with Franco too? I know he's in that.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But, someone asked me the other day, so you worked with James Franco? I'm like, no, I haven't.
He's in the movie, but
I completely forgot he was in it. But no, I literally just missed him. He left the day I got there.
Has it been a conscious choice that I think all of the films, I mean, I don't know if Life is considered like a two-hander between you and Dane, but the other films they're supporting roles. They're not like the guy. Is that something that was a conscious decision to take some, work with the best filmmakers possible, no matter how big the part was?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just easier. It was like I wanted to work with all these people, and it's less of a decision. Like if you're doing a smaller part, then it's sort of like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ruin their movie, like, and you can kind of experiment, and also it's a lot less pressure. But yeah, it's kind of, I wasn't really trying to seek out supporting parts that much.
Right.
But yeah, life's sort of, yeah, I guess it's a two-hander. But it's two separate stories, really.
Interesting.
Like, there's James Dean's story and mine. But yeah, it's all been kind of quite random. I mean, these are all just, like the Queen of the Desert I was attached to like 3 years ago.
Right, yeah.
Like, and it just, everything happened at the same time.
Yeah, Naomi was going to do it, and then Nicole filled in, etc. Yeah. One I'm excited about is you're going to be working with De Niro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Have you met him yet?
No.
What do you think about that?
I'm so excited about it.
That's amazing.
It's great. And doing a gangster movie as well, it's like...
As a talented
and with the say
filmmaker.
as well, and it's like... And the script's incredible. And the other person hasn't been announced yet. I forgot.
That's a great person.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a proper ensemble thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. I really like Chicago as well. So
Was that what you're going to be shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Good food. Be careful.
Amazing. Just watch the bloat.
And is that going to be the next thing? Next shoot?
I think that I might do this other thing first, but I'm not sure yet.
And are you still attached? Are you still hoping to be in Lost City of Z? Another great filmmaker, James Gray, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's going to happen in January. I was supposed to be doing that this summer, and
Yeah.
then Benedict's doing a play, I think.
Right.
And so it has to move to January. But yeah, definitely.
You can bond with Benedict over. I've had the chance of talking to him a lot. I assume, have you met him yet?
I've never met him. No.
He's amazing. You're
Yeah.
gonna love him. I mean, but you know, his fans call themselves Cumber Bitches.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I think you can bond in terms of fandom, in terms of what that's like.
That could really be misheard very easily.
Yes, it seems wrong, but if they like it, I guess it works for them.